having to do the intro. But welcome to Audify.
We're back.
We're back, finally, after how long?
Like 6 months.
But we are back at it again with the white vans.
Damn, Daniel.
I think first off, we have to introduce that it is not just me, Megan, and Alicia.
Who is it?
We actually have a special guest this time.
Hi, Hannah.
It's Hannah!
It's me, Hannah!
Can we insert applause here?
Applause here.
So today we have with us Hannah. She has been our social media queen,
Guru.
I don't know what you want to call her, but she is who you see posting stories or just any of our posts now on the Audify Instagram or Facebook. That is her. So welcome, Hannah.
It is finally nice to be a part of this podcast.
Since I introduced Hannah, do you want to introduce the episode, Alicia?
Sure. Well, we had this idea for a long time. We kind of meant to record this like 2 months ago. So it is the Winchester Mansion and kind of the history and supernatural world that exists around it. Oh, that actually scared me. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was like a recording. It was really good.
I'm a voice actor on the side, what can I say?
God, she's so many things. So,
This is why she's editing.
I obviously did the history, and what did you do, Megan?
You make it sound like, what did you do?
Yeah, what the fuck did you do?
Well, I don't have a doctorate a bachelor degree in history. So I did the paranormal side because you don't need a bachelor degree to do that part.
No, because you've got an associate's degree in paranormal history.
Did I? Holy shit, I didn't even know that.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And what's Hannah here for?
I am here for a good time, everybody.
Good answer.
What did you decide on working with Hannah?
So, I'm deciding to be the unbiased, let's say, observer in this situation. So, I am going to be hearing the history and the paranormal side. I'm going to tell a few jokes in between, but ultimately, I'm going to try to use logic, but, I got to add a little bit of sprinkle of paranormal in there because I believe in a lot of paranormal. So, I am hearing it from both sides and judging what happened.
And are you hearing this for the first time?
Yes, I do not know the history. Well, I know some of the history, but I'm guessing Alicia probably went a little more into detail. But paranormal, I actually know nothing about. So,
alrighty.
Well, there's two possibilities to this story, and that's one, the lady's nuts. Just like she was just crazy. Or the other one is that there is some crazy shit happening in California.
I mean, both are very plausible.
I've heard there's a lot of crazy shit that goes down in California.
Yeah, that's actually true. Their governor was the Terminator, so. So I guess I'll get us started. I know people listening to this can't see it, but just Google these things. That's what I did. The first picture in the chat is the house, the floor plan. Ignore that. Scroll down to the dude with the mustache, like the crazy mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Dude with the crazy mustache. Oh, yeah. Isn't that,
Yeah.
Damn, he's got some chops on him.
Mr. Isn't that Mr. Winchester?
One of them.
Oh.
So that's William Winchester. And in my notes, I wrote, William Winchester, crazy stash, handsome man.
Ooh.
Because if you cut that beard off of him and you leave him with even just a mustache, or just take all of it off, he is very good looking.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
No, he would be a very handsome man.
I have a better colorized photo that kind of proves what I'm talking about, but I didn't share that one, so.
You know what, though?
What?
We say he's handsome or would be handsome without the stash. I bet wait, was that Sarah Winchester's husband?
Yeah.
I bet she loved his stash.
It's impressive. I just don't. It's not my thing.
It is very impressive.
That is like, what did they call those? Like, not, they're like extensions on sideburns. That can, yeah, that connect to
Yeah, like there's that big space there.
his mustache. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
They were into some crazy beard styles. They were probably just bored, because I mean, this is like the mid 1800s, so not much to do. No Twitter, no cars. So he was just like doing whatever he could with his facial hair.
You know what? Can't blame him on that one.
No, I mean, we're kind of getting there now. Like, we're getting bored with what we have, so now people are doing crazy shit.
True.
But he was the son of Oliver Fisher Winchester and Jane Ellen Hope, and was actually born in Boston, Massachusetts. He had two sisters, Anne Rebecca Winchester and Hannah Jane Winchester.
Oh my god.
What?
It's Hannah.
Hannah?
My secret's out. I am a time traveler.
Oh, shit.
He married Sarah Lockwood Pardee on September 30th, 1862.
September 30th is my birthday.
Yeah.
There's too many coincidences happening here.
Should we stop? Is that the end? Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. All that we had to say was that there's a girl named Hannah and that they got married on my birthday. Before I was born.
See you next week.
That's also that year. That's like during the Civil War, by the way. So they're just like having a great old time.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
People are just dying and they're like, let's get married.
I feel like a lot of people would have done that, though. Like, get married when the war is happening because you're trying to, like, make something good out of something terrible. Or, like, get married before, you know, you inevitably probably die.
That's true, except he wasn't in the military, I don't think.
Oh.
How the hell did people not have crippling anxiety back then? Like, you could literally die just from a cold.
I don't know, they drank and smoked a lot.
That's also true.
Oh my god.
But Sarah was born the daughter of Leonard Pardee and his wife, who was also named Sarah, in the summer of 1839 in Connecticut, New Haven, to be specific. So she's in Connecticut, he's born in Boston. I didn't find like too much on Sarah's family history, but the Winchesters were as close to royalty as could be found in that part of the world back then. They owned the famous Winchester Repeating Arms Company, and obviously that company had raked in just an unbelievable fortune with their brilliant invention, which was the Winchester rifle, or it was called the Henry rifle as well.
Is that, not to interrupt you again, but is that Repeating Arms Company still around today? Do you know if they're still, like, making rifles?
I would assume so. I think they're still Winchester rifles, but I could be entirely wrong. I don't know, like, anything about guns besides the fact that I shot a shotgun once and bruised my entire body. Yeah, you gotta hold those things steady. Are you searching it?
Yeah, Winchester Repeating Arms Company is still a active company. They make Super X4 shotguns built for speed.
Yeah, I thought I've seen the Winchester logo.
Yeah, they still make rifles that look in the similar shape. Obviously, they look very new, but they look the similar shape of the original rifle. Huh.
But don't confuse any of this with Sam and Dean Winchester. Unrelated.
Yeah.
Completely unrelated, which I still need to watch that. I think that's kind of cool that it's still a big company.
Yeah. I was thinking, I know my dad has guns or had them before, and I remember seeing the Winchester logo, at least on the ammunition, so I know they make ammunition for sure.
Oh, okay. See, I don't think my dad's ever owned a Winchester gun, or maybe he does and I just don't know it, but he does have guns. He likes his guns. Anyway.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
So the Winchester rifle is perhaps, or was, one of the best known firearms in the world. It was the gun that enabled, well, this is the history from them, not from me, so just take this with the time period. I'm not saying this. This is the gun that enabled the white man to bring the American West under his sway, wasting along the way deservedly or undeservedly the lives of countless human beings and other living creatures.
Goodness.
So, while very shitty in one perspective, also very important in getting our country to what it is today, more or less. So, you can look at that however you want. I'm not going to say what my opinion is on anything.
Yeah, it's very old American, like, thought process.
Yeah, it's like what someone who loves a rifle would say.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So, obviously, with the Civil War, there was a greater demand for guns, and the Winchesters had landed some new, very lucrative governmental contracts. I suppose it could be considered by one viewpoint a fortune ill-got, was what one writer said. Certainly, after a time, Sarah began to believe the same thing, that their fortune was basically earned with blood money.
I mean, literally, they were selling weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while, like, obviously this was being used for hunting probably the majority of the time, it was also killing, well, when the Civil War, they started using the gun in the Civil War, it was obviously just being used to murder humans, so.
Right.
On July 15th, 1866, Sarah gave birth to their only child, Annie Pardee Winchester, but the baby died 6 weeks later of marasmus, which I had to Google because that I've never heard of that before. But it sounds like the baby was either, what's the right word? The baby's body was rejecting food, or she was having an issue with producing enough food, and it starved to death.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah, that's actually a common issue nowadays, too. Yeah, a lot of women, they have trouble, like, either having the kid latch on or they're just not producing enough milk. So that's why a lot of people, when they say it's like mother shaming, because a lot of people have to feed their kids formula because they're just not producing enough milk for the baby to actually.
How do you shame someone for feeding a baby?
You know, it's the internet. You're getting shamed if you have a lisp, for God's sakes. I have no idea. It's crazy.
This death of her child really hit Sarah. I mean, obviously it would, but she was already kind of dealing with a lot. And she became really mentally unstable and reclusive. It took her a really long time to recover, and her and William, and even just her alone, they never had any more children.
God.
That's sad.
15 years later, her beloved husband William contracted tuberculosis, which we talk about a lot. Apparently, just like the biggest problem ever.
In that time, yes.
He got the Turk.
I saw some girl on TikTok who got tuberculosis.
Oh my
Oh
God.
no.
Yeah, because, you know, like when you get a job in like the hospital, they have to test you for TB, and she tested positive.
Oh my God.
It's like, I didn't even know that was still a thing, but she's fine. Anyways.
I'm sure it's just not as deadly as it used to be.
Yeah. 15 years later, he died. William died of tuberculosis on March 7th, 1881. And while this left Sarah a widow, she was a very wealthy widow with a $20 million inheritance, which equivalates to $556 million today.
Oh my God. She won the lottery.
She did. And she also won a half share in the company on top of that, which fetched $1,000 a day. That's $28,000 a day in today's money.
Oh my God.
So she's getting $28,000 a day, and then she just was given $556 million.
Oh, it's crazy.
So you think, you know, she'd be able to find some sort of happiness out of that, but she didn't, because she began to think that there was a curse on her family, and the idea was reinforced because she went and saw a psychic, like a traveling psychic. She went and saw one, and one of these, she saw several of them, I guess, and one of them convinced her that she had lost her daughter and husband because the Winchester rifle had been used to kill so many people, and the spirits of those people would never leave her alone unless she built a house that was never completed.
Jeez.
What the? That is oddly specific, even for a psychic.
Like, literally, word for word. You have to build a house that's never completed. Why?
Yeah, she must be super superstitious or something. Because I mean, she did have all the money in the world basically, so she had endless resources. So I guess if she was that freaked out, I would probably do the same.
Yeah.
Also, just like the lady could have had a really bad rep with like the Winchester guns. Maybe she just hated them and was like, waste all your money, bitch.
Possibly. And another thing could be that she was just taking Sarah's money and just telling her whatever came to her mind first, because that happened a lot.
That too.
Yeah.
But truth or not, she took the psychic's advice to heart, and in 1884 she moved from New Haven, Connecticut to San Jose, California. That's where she purchased a 6-room farmhouse that stood in the middle of I can't read this number because it translated wrong. Anyways, a whole bunch of land, acres and acres of land. And she moved into the house. She didn't just buy it. She began construction on this house almost immediately and kept it up continuously for the next 38 years.
Oh my, 38?
38 years, and that's not even it, because it wasn't even like regular construction. This was 24 hours a day, every single day, like not Sundays off. It was all day, midnight, 1 a.m., all like any time of the day they were working on this house.
No, that kind of makes sense. She was probably scared to be alone. Probably because obviously she listened to the psychic, but also, that's crazy. Like, she's probably just so scared to be alone.
And to stop construction because this lady said you have to start a house, you have to build a house that's never finished. She probably thought that if she stopped working on it, the spirits would murder her.
True. Who knows what she was thinking.
That's true.
But I thought this was kind of interesting. She drew the rooms that were to be added on tablecloths, pieces of tiny paper, basically anything that she had she needed to write down. She wrote it on that. And she had no sense of designing, and it probably wasn't her intention to create anything as terribly aesthetic looking as she ended up creating. But the main thing was that she kept on building, and so she did. And she was adding rooms wherever she felt like it. It eventually became such a maze that both her and her servants needed maps to navigate around it.
Oh my gosh.
What the heck?
So just to give you this is the last. Oh, I forgot about the pictures. There's a picture of Sarah Winchester in there. Obviously, that's her. And then you can see the Winchester Mansion itself as it looks today, and then the floor plan, which looks just insane. And that's only for one floor.
Right, that's not even levels after you go upstairs and stuff.
But just to give you a hint at what this encases, this whole house, this is all I have for the history, but the house is located at 525 South Winchester Boulevard in San Jose. It is 24,000 square feet. It has 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors. I can't even picture 100 doors. That's too many.
That is a lot of doors.
There are 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys.
Wait, hold on.
So I don't know.
Pause. How many fireplaces are there?
They must be connected. It said 47, but there's only 17 chimneys, so they must be connected, because you can connect so they all go out through one chimney.
That's true.
They could just be useless fireplaces as well, because, again, she wasn't making this a place to live. She was just building.
True. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up.
It also could be wrong. I got my information from the internet, so...
Well, I mean, I believe it, but that number is just very different.
Well, you think that number is crazy. There's 160 rooms here and only 13 bathrooms.
What? What?
That's not enough.
Make that make sense.
Also, I have another question. If there are 100 and some rooms, why are there 2,000 some doors? Where do these doors go?
Literally, there's doors to nowhere.
Oh, true. I forget about that.
Yeah, there's just doors that you open. There's one door in particular that I've seen that you open it and it's literally just like straight outside. Like And this is on like the third floor. It just goes outside.
Oh yeah, it like falls into like the
Yeah,
bushes.
I remember that now.
There's six kitchens, so that's kind of cool. Like I would just, make my food in one and like leave that one really dirty, and then the next day use a different one. And then you just, then you get your maid to clean it because she's a billionaire. So
Yeah, see, crazy or resourceful.
There you go.
the house itself was built for $5 million. That equals to $71 million today.
Holy shit.
Yeesh.
Yeah, when I thought about it, this house is so much bigger than it looks in the pictures because it's just an insane amount of doors.
Yeah, that's
Ridiculous.
But yeah, that's what I have for the history. I couldn't really do too much into it more because I would have started getting into the paranormal side of it. So I thought that was a good place to leave off with just a description of the house, and then you can take it from here.
I agree.
Can I give my thoughts and opinions on the history and what maybe I'm conjuring in my head?
Absolutely not. I'm just kidding, of course.
My God. Okay, so obviously we don't know the family history of her side at least. So, she probably maybe didn't grow up, the best like we all do. Or wait, no, let me rephrase that. That sounded wrong. Delete that, Hannah.
Hannah, cut that.
Sarah, she probably didn't have the best childhood. We can only assume, whatever. But losing your kid and then losing your husband, I can only imagine like the grief that she probably didn't process. It probably turned in, because I know there's like some superstitions with the house, like it's like some doors and only have like 13 like nails in them or something. Like 13 is a common number for the Winchester Mansion, and I feel like that is like OCD related. Maybe it's because I am diagnosed with OCD, so I can kind of relate to that. But I think she was so probably just mentally not right. I mean, after losing a child after giving it birth, I can only imagine. Plus, they didn't know what postpartum was back then. And so, she's not crazy. She just went through a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if I was living through all this in the middle of the Civil War, which is already terrifying, and then like my baby dies and then my husband dies, and then I already feel like my fortune is blood money, I'll probably like do some kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, especially like, I mean, yeah, it's back then. Like, I don't know how superstitious people were back then, but probably being told this, and then probably people are like, yeah, the Winchester like family sucks because you're building weapons that are killing innocent people. So it's probably guilt of other people putting on her. I could imagine it's so much.
Yeah.
I want to comment something real quick about that number 13. I was looking up a little bit more information as to like who inherited the Winchester Mansion, because I wanted to see if maybe if that's who's doing the ghost tours and stuff now. And it says that Sarah Winchester was buried in the cemetery next to her husband and infant, and she left a written will which was split into 13 sections and which she signed 13 times, and left the home to her niece, Marriott, who auctioned off almost everything. But I think that itself is just a little interesting. I didn't know that until now.
I would say that's definitely OCD behavior. I'm just
Hannah's
spitballing.
diagnosing a dead woman.
Yeah.
This will be our next podcast. We'll diagnose every famous dead person with what.
Can we diagnose Dr. Cream?
Oh.
Yeah, I have a diagnosis for him.
Psycho?
Basically, that'd be a good one.
Basically. I just thought that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, so I don't know what the significance for 13 was. Obviously, everyone makes it like a scary, demonic thing, but 13 could have gave her comfort in some way. I have no idea, but I think it's interesting that 13 is what she chose.
Yeah, and I mean, 13's been a superstitious number for quite some time. But I'm sorry, I got distracted. You were saying that you didn't know how, like, superstitious people were back then, but I think it depends entirely on, like, the region. And I feel like New England around that time was still kind of holding on to some of those superstitious kind of holds.
That would make sense. I'm wondering if I can look up the time where all these like superstitions
Well,
kind of came to life.
and I'll touch on that a little bit when I go into my
Ooh.
paranormal side. So should I start that now? I feel like that's a good point to switch over.
Yes.
So, to start off the haunting side of things, I mainly want to say that it may not be the most credible source, but maybe it is. I don't know. Time magazine did rate it among the top 10 most haunted houses in America.
Ooh.
I don't know if Time magazine's credible, but I mean, it sounds fancy, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Time Magazine's credibility, but I don't think they've ever been like called out for not being credible.
I mean, I would trust Time magazine over Rolling Stone or a lot of other ones.
I would too. That's why I put it in here. So not only guests to the Winchester Mansion, but employees of the Winchester Mansion have also claimed to have seen all types of paranormal experiences and had paranormal experiences. For those who don't know, I just want to mention that there are multiple types of hauntings. Not all ghosts walking around can talk to you and tell you about their day when they were alive or what it looked like. Not all types of hauntings I'm going to go over just because it's a lot of different types, but there were three main experiences or happenings that people would see and comment on. So they have intelligent and residual hauntings, as well as people have seen shadow figures or been touched or bumped into when there's no one there. Unseen figures have spoken, or they've heard like a sigh from somebody or heard voices that aren't supposed to be there.
Hold on, real quick. I'm just imagining myself as a ghost, just sighing, like annoyed at people, just going like, there we go.
Ah,
Just sighing ghosts.
Sorry, I got a cough.
that was a ghost. With the residual hauntings, those are kind of like watching a clip from an old movie played on repeat. The spirit of the person almost moves as if they're in a loop and maybe walking down a flight of stairs over and over and over again, as if kind of stuck in that feeling or in that moment of their life. And these can be, they don't have to be like something scary, like somebody running down a hallway, or it's not always something really important. It could just be a spirit doing mundane tasks like dusting a mantle, or, like I mentioned before, walking downstairs. It could be also on the exact opposite side. It could have been something traumatic in their life, such as the event of death or something important happening to them. People have, I've seen in a couple of paranormal investigation videos done of the Winchester Mansion, that people will look or like set an EMF detector or something on the bed where it said that Sarah Winchester herself passed away during an earthquake. And the EMF detector will spike when they ask certain questions. That could be intelligent, but it also could just be the residual of like her energy is still there in that spot because it is where she passed away. It's kind of cool to think about. There's just a ghost sitting there, chilling, you know?
Just sitting on the bed, taking a little nap.
Sitting on a bed, possibly dying. Who knows? Reportedly, people have also experienced residual hauntings in the ballroom or the grand ballroom of the manor. And some of those residual hauntings are mainly a spirit, which is famously known as the wheelbarrow ghost, which is a man with jet black hair who's believed to have been a handyman of the mystery house back when it was originally being built. And he's been seen repairing the fireplace in the grand ballroom, just kind of, leaning into it and fixing some of the stuff on the inside. He's also been seen just pushing a wheelbarrow down a long hallway in the basement, which isn't creepy at all.
Dude, get this wheelbarrow out of my basement.
So, and that also brings up the question of why can we see the wheelbarrow? It's not dead. I mean, maybe it is, who knows, but that's my question.
Maybe when people die, maybe your energy, it like irradiates to the objects around you.
Maybe the wheelbarrow killed him.
Or like,
So now he's pushing it forever.
you know how people say that like objects can like hold the energy. So like, you know, if you
Yeah.
like this person died in this chair, so now the chair's haunted. So maybe it's like maybe that was just an object that he used often enough that his energy like permeated it.
That could be. I like that answer. I also like the idea that he just loved this wheelbarrow so much. Like, what if it was just the best wheelbarrow he'd ever used?
It was like his pet.
Yeah, so now in the afterlife, he just pushes it around.
Period.
There are also, along with residual hauntings of the place, which also include just people walking down hallways, there's also intelligent hauntings where a lot of ghost hunters that have gone to the building have caught EVPs of voices, or they've seen orbs moving around, or answering questions through Estes method or through EMF detectors, just multiple different ways that they've gotten intelligent responses, asking questions of like, is this Sarah? Or did you used to work here? What was your name? And getting actual answers, which is kind of cool.
Just to elaborate, because I didn't know what this was, the Estes method is
Oh, yeah.
when you have the spirit box, but the person holding it is completely like deafened. You put noise canceling headphones on and you're supposed to like blindfold them as well, which as kind of like a little bonus thing, we can talk a little bit about what we did at the Stella Hotel at the end of this, because we did the Estes method.
Oh, that's a good idea. And I've learned a little bit more about the Estes method too since then. From I watched a episode of Sam and Colby, and they actually interviewed the guy who originally invented the Estes method, and he invented it while he was working at the Stanley Hotel, which I think is really cool too. But he says that you're almost supposed to go into like a trance, and then just whatever words you hear, you say them. Don't give any like descriptions, but whatever you hear the spirit box say, that person who's listening to it is supposed to just answer and say whatever it is that they hear. And then the people around who are asking questions just kind of, ask their questions.
So it works both ways, with like putting like your brain more in tune with the energy, but then also not influencing you
Right.
with what questions are being asked.
It's very interesting. It's really cool. We'll go into it more after, but the intelligent hauntings that happen at the Winchester Mansion, this is where you get like real answers, like I said. You'll be asking questions and the spirit's aware of your presence. They might interact with you. They might answer your questions. It's been rumored that with these, people have had gentle tugs on their shirt or their skirts during tours. They felt, in one instance, a maintenance worker was working on a restoration project in the Hall of Fires, which is just a hallway that has multiple fireplaces along both walls. And he said that the hall was dead quiet, and in some time before tours started, he was on a ladder and he felt someone touch his back. So he turned around thinking somebody was there, but nobody was there. So he went back to his work, and a few moments later, he felt someone like push him in the back. So he got down off his ladder and he walked out, and he decided to come work on that restoration project a different day, because he's like, somebody obviously did not want me in that hallway. And he didn't want to get pushed off a ladder,
Yeah.
Smart decision.
Another maintenance worker reported hearing footsteps, and when he went to go find the trespasser, walking along the hallways, the many hallways, like Alicia said before, this building is like a maze, even to the people that work there. The footsteps that he was following were always right ahead of him or right above him, and he could never catch up to them. So eventually he gave up his chase when he got to the rooftop, and there was obviously nowhere that the footsteps could have gone, and he was alone on the rooftop with nobody in sight. He again decided to give up his chase for the day and stop working on what he was working on. Well, this was two different guys, too.
This dude just needs to get a new job. New jobs for everybody.
Another common occurrence, as I've mentioned, is shadow figures. And these are a really common occurrence in the Winchester Mansion from what I've seen. These can be intelligent or residual, but they're kind of like a human-shaped figure that's just moving throughout the building. They've been seen roaming around corners, down hallways, and they've been seen in windows from the street. They've even been caught at the front gates of the buildings, and in some photos too, depending on what you believe. Some say it's just a reflection, but it looks kind of like a person if you look at some of the photos. People have also reported hearing voices, mainly, like I said before, a loud sigh, which is reported to be Sarah Winchester herself, though I couldn't find any reason why, except for that the lady was probably really tired and sick of people probably commenting on how crazy her building was.
Yeah, I'm like sick of ghost hunters coming there. She's like, oh god.
I'm done with you. In one instance, for the shadow figures, a tour guide thought that one of her guests had fell behind, and she went to go follow them around the corner, and when she did, she realized that it wasn't a person, but a shadow of like a short woman, who she believed to be Sarah Winchester, because Sarah was reportedly very short, and the shadow figure... Hi, Onyx! The shadow figure just kind of disappeared around another corner, and she gave up chase because she realized it was not one of her tour guide guests.
I don't like shadow people.
No, that is kind of crazy. It's kind of creepy. Many people have investigated the hauntings at the mansion and found lots of paranormal footage and proof. Like I said before, Sam and Colby were one, but BuzzFeed Unsolved also investigated the manor and stayed the night, I think twice. And then Ghost Adventures has also investigated the manor, and they've all caught EVPs and lots of interesting stuff. And they all tell a little bit more on the history too, so worth a listen, worth a watch.
I remember watching the Ghost Adventures one, and I just remember them going up one of these staircases, and it was so narrow and just like really weird that they were all getting like motion sickness because just like the way that it's built.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the only scene that I can remember from that Ghost Adventures episode as well. And I was gonna mention the staircase because it's like a zigzag, but it's narrow enough to where you might have to walk sideways if you're a little bit huskier. And then it like goes back and forth like 6 or 7 times before you get to the top. It's ridiculous.
Also, I wanted to add, a lot of people comment on how short the stairs are. And allegedly what I was reading was that she had horrendous arthritis.
Horrendous.
Basically, arthritis is like, it's painful. A lot of my family members have it. And just like, I guess getting up the stairs for her was so hard on her body because of the arthritis that she had to make them so short.
Like, and what she means by the stairs so short is that the stairs themselves were not like normal stairs where you have to lift your leg up to get up them, but the stairs were like an inch tall instead of like 6. So each step was like an inchworm movement.
She just slinked up the stairs.
The other thing that I wanted to mention, which brings into the spirituality and the what was the word that you used?
Well, shit, I can't remember.
When like you used the number 13.
Oh, superstition.
Superstition. Go, Hannah.
It.
Something about that I found was that people, it's kind of a misconception, but it's also like we don't know the truth. This website says, and I'm going to quote it word for word because it's Onyx. Why are you screaming?
My cats are being so bad.
So what I'm going to quote just says that this person took a photograph of the stairs that literally just lead up to nothing. There's no... Hi, buddy. It leads up to the ceiling. And so in the case of modern eyes and tastes, viewings of yesterday's practices with her using the number 13, at the time that Sarah lived, the spiritualism movement was a popular one, but they say that there is no evidence that Sarah participated or held seances in her home. And even if she did, the historians say that the idea of a special seance room, which it's reported that there is one, for nightly sessions is far-fetched. A seance was a social affair back then, and then to suggest that she held solo seances in a small closet at the very center of her house misrepresents the social nature of the ritual that it used to be considered. So if she wanted to hold a seance, she would have held it in a front parlor as spiritualists did, and odds are that there would have been multiple people that she would have gathered there to do this. And also, there's no mention of a seance room in the house before a 1928 propaganda article was published after Sarah had died, well after she had died. So I think that that's kind of interesting.
One of the rooms was destroyed in an earthquake when it was earlier on being built. Did you read anything about that?
No, I didn't. That's interesting.
I'm not sure where the room was, but I mean, if I know that was like probably most likely a rumor, but I know there was a room that was destroyed and like it was completely destroyed by this earthquake that she just closed it off. And that could have possibly been, who knows what that room was.
That's a good point. That's crazy. There's so much mystery in this Winchester Mystery House.
I say we all buy a ticket and we go to the Winchester Mansion.
I agree.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll start a GoFundMe so that people can send us, because I'm not going to have any money when I get back.
No, same.
Yeah.
I already know.
Same.
So we wanted to, afterwards, I think that might be all that we have for the Winchester Mansion, unless anybody else has anything to add.
Okay, I gotta put in my 2 cents.
Okay.
So, being mentally unstable at that time, you don't talk about it. So imagine how much energy and built up just emotion she had. And you know what? I kind of believe in a residual haunt. So it makes sense that a residual.
Can you talk?
No.
Residual.
Residual. Okay. So it makes sense that a residual haunting would take place. As far as like paranormal, I'm surprised. Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised that there really isn't a lot of paranormal stuff going on. But I think that's like the attraction to it. It's a mystery. You don't really know what you're gonna get.
That's true. And also, I think a lot of the paranormal stuff is repeated of the same stuff happening, which when you think of a residual haunting, the same thing's going to happen over and over and over again.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, like most of the reported ghosts are said to be like former workers, because I mean, people did die building that place.
That's true.
Yeah, that would make sense, especially if they were kind of spiteful, because who knows how long they had to work and what the conditions were. Like, that's not really documented, I don't think.
Not that I saw. I mean, it could be somewhere, but not that I had access to.
And who knows also, like, I'm sure she had multiple mediums, like you said, that she talked to. Who knows what other ones said besides what's out there? They could have told her a lot more. But it's believed I thought there was another theory that said that she was building the house one theory was that she was building it because, like what you said, she didn't have any idea of architectural design, and she wasn't building it to be pretty, she was just building it to continuously build. But was there another theory that she was building it to confuse the spirits so that they could never find their way to her?
That's what I heard.
That's one of them. That's one of the theories, is that she was doing it to confuse them, which kind of leans into, I think there was another medium that told her something similar to that, but then there's also another one that she built the house to house the ghosts that the rifle had killed, the ghosts of the people. So it was kind of like 13 ghosts, like it's like basically a hotel for ghosts. But
and that would explain why there's so many rooms.
Yeah.
And I feel like if she just had no idea about architecture and stuff, why was she building staircases that led to nothing? Why would she put a door on the 3rd story that leads to the ground outside?
Maybe she thought it could go up into the room and then realized that she couldn't cut that part of the floor out, or the workers told her she couldn't cut that part of the floor out, so she just moved on.
That's me building a house.
I want stairs here. You can't do that. Okay, we'll put them there anyway, and we'll put the room somewhere else.
Or like you don't even think about it. You just start building the stairs and then you realize the problem after it's too late.
Right, and then you can't fix it, so you just don't.
Yeah, I'm wondering how, like, architect design went back then. Because I wouldn't think they would aimlessly build, but I have no idea.
Well, and if you think about it too, who knows if like the stairway was built before the room above it was built? She could have had a staircase that went somewhere, but then they built a room on top of it and she just didn't get rid of the staircase. Maybe she thought it was funny.
Rich people.
She got a good giggle.
Who knows? There's a lot of question in this. I think that's neat. It's still a mystery, and I think it will forever be a mystery.
Exactly. So tell us your theories and your beliefs, because I truly think it's a little bit of both. I think maybe her loss and grief of just her life kind of made her, she coped in the ways that she could, and she probably developed some mental health problems. And I believe when she died, that was like maybe her comfort spot. So why wouldn't she come back and relive her life as a ghost,
Or she couldn't leave. Because if she died in the house...
Maybe she became one of the confused spirits. Full circle.
Tell us your theories. We want to hear them.
I love it.
No, what do you mean tell us your theories? We just solved it.
Well, god dang. We don't.
We out here working today.
Yeah, we did so much. We solved the mystery that everyone wanted to know the answer to.
Go Audify. Can we do like a group high five?
I'm not with you.
Well, we'll just high five the microphone.
Virtually high five.
Okay, ready?
Yep. High five. Woo! We did so good, guys. Are we going to talk about our experience at the Stella Hotel?
Yeah, I just punched my microphone on accident.
You have a hotel?
Yeah, I'm there. So this will be like a bonus. So bonus listening.
It's a little update and a story.
So when was that? Was that September?
I think it was back in November.
No, I know the exact date.
What day was it, Hannah?
It was December 18th.
We went in December?
Yeah, because I think it was a couple weeks before Christmas.
Oh, we're crazy.
We are. I don't remember. I thought it was in November. It
No.
was December 18th.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Because they had Christmas decorations up.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You don't
There
remember,
was like
remember the giant
trees.
The giant trees, yeah.
Were there? I don't remember the giant trees, guys.
Well,
I was too focused on the ghosts.
Megan calls me one night and she's with Hannah and she's like, I don't remember, I think I was sleeping, I don't remember, or I was drunk. And you were like, we're going to stay at a hotel, are you in? And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, we're going to Kenosha and we're going to stay at this hotel and it's haunted and it's only like $50 a person. And I was like, okay.
She agreed before she even knew why I thought it was haunted.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm always down to go to a hotel. I like hotels. So this was apparently in December. So we drove up there and
I drove.
Megan drove us up there in her car that could have exploded and killed us.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we didn't die, so... Or did we?
Oh! Anyway, continue, Alicia.
This is why we can't do the podcast anymore, because we just are the same person, say the same thing.
Literally.
So in preparation for this, I spent too much money on a spirit box and dowsing rods that both worked, and Hannah brought her camera setup, which was really awesome, and tarot cards, and I brought like a protection bag of protection herbs, and
which smelled really good, by the way. I remember that.
I still have it. I didn't empty it. I was like, this is a special memory.
Yay.
We like tested everything out when we first got there. We weren't really getting anything, but it was like still pretty early. So we explored the hotel a little bit, and it's pretty cool. So this place used to be, what was it, a mill?
It used to be a mill, yeah. a grain mill of some
They
sort.
then that burned down, and so it was rebuilt. And I can't remember the second thing. Was that the Elks Club, or was that something else it was rebuilt as?
Oh gosh, I don't even
I
remember
think
anymore. It was originally, let me look it up.
I think it was the Elks Club the second time they rebuilt it, and then that burned down, and then they built the Stella, and then there was a fire at the Stella.
I think it was something like that.
But the Stella wasn't destroyed. Like, I think there was just a lot of damage.
Yeah, the weirdest part about it is that the fire burned for like days.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally it was called the Petite Malting Company, and the business was known for high quality malt, and they produced for Milwaukee and Chicago. And in 1914, on St. Patrick's Day morning, the building was destroyed in a massive fire that lasted for several days. And it just kept restarting. So volunteer firefighters were constantly there putting out the fire. And the moment they thought it was out, a fire would erupt on a different part of the building. And it would just continuously do that back and forth for multiple days before they finally got it to stop. And then they rebuilt it as the Elks Club. They eventually sold that to a place that it now became the Heritage House Inn. And in the mid 2000s, the banquet hall closed and the property was abandoned because it experienced a fire that damaged the second floor in the ballroom and a couple of the dining rooms located below that. So a second fire that destroyed part of the building and left it inhabitable. And then now it's been rebuilt as the Stella Hotel and Ballroom. And that's kind of its little tragic history.
Which we didn't know because Megan wouldn't tell us anything until we were there.
Nope, I kept it a secret. I just told them, I'm pretty sure this place is haunted, let's go. And they both went with me.
Yeah, we didn't have any claims that this was haunted.
No, I just went, I think it could be.
Yeah, Megan assumed, but she wasn't wrong because we went out to dinner and it was amazing, but then we went back.
I don't even remember where we went, but they had really good Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a tiny little restaurant bar and it was really good.
Yeah, it was like a little brew house of some sort.
Yeah, because they had their own
A tap house, that's what it's called.
tap house.
Yeah, it wasn't called the tap house, but it was like a tap house. They had a bunch of different beers on tap that were like home brews or local brews, you know.
It was,
Anyway, continue.
I think before, I don't remember if it was before, I think it was before dinner, we explored the hotel a little bit. And the weird thing was that there was like nobody else staying here. Like we saw like a couple other people and we were there for basically 2 days.
That's true. We didn't see very many people at all.
Yeah, the staff though, I have to say, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment we got there, I asked the lady at the desk if there were any like paranormal happenings, if anybody had reported any hauntings, and she immediately said that nobody had reported anything there. However, she wasn't going to say it wasn't haunted. And then she went to tell us about a hotel in Milwaukee called the Pfister and explained that we should go visit there next. So,
Video idea question mark?
When I can afford it.
yes.
Same.
We have to wait a little bit, but that's our plan to go there next. But Alicia, you remember what happened apparently better than I do, so I'm going to let you tell the story.
I don't have very many things to remember.
Okay, I remember some stuff that kind of freaked me out.
Okay, well, I'm glad you remember it. Yes, I blocked out a lot of the scary stuff because I just remember us looking around the hotel and this place was like empty. It was also like, it looked like it had been like newly redone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nicely
Like-
furnished, and
Yeah, everything was nice. The paint, the decorations. Like, I still can't believe that we only had to pay that much for a room. And there was a fireplace and a cafe that we got breakfast in the next day.
they had really good food too, and really good coffee. I remember the coffee.
Oh, yeah, I got a tea. It's good. I got a tea and then I didn't finish it. And then it sat in my car for like 3 months.
Ew!
It was just black tea, so it wasn't like gross, but it was still like every day I saw that cup and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we went there.
We found room 1408, which was spooky.
Ooh,
yeah.
I remember that. which was weird.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird because like the layout of the rooms was super strange. It definitely felt more like one of those hotels that basically they cater to weddings because the bottom floor had a lot of meeting rooms and a game room that was really cool. They had like, what was that, like a giant Connect Four and
There was a giant wall
yeah, the
Scrabble.
Scrabble, a picture of a really scary guy who looked like he was like a plastic doll that had been burned in a fire.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a giant Monopoly board.
That, yeah, and didn't it flip over and it was a different game?
Yeah.
Yes. And then we also, there was a computer in that room, which is where I had them finally look up the history of the Stella Hotel.
Oh yeah.
I let them do the research themselves. It was kind of fun.
Then the second floor was just the entrance lobby, right? And cafe on the second floor.
Yeah, they had a restaurant too, but we didn't go.
Oh yeah. It was too fancy for us.
Yeah, we went to the bar instead.
Yeah, that's our level of class. Then the third floor was just more rooms, I believe. I think we were on the third or fourth floor.
The first floor, we were on the second, I thought.
Yeah, I think.
No, because we had to take the elevator up to our room.
That's because there were no stairs to the second, third, or fourth floor.
Oh yeah, because we got lost exploring. Remember, we like took the elevator and we're like, we'll take the stairs down, but you couldn't because there weren't any stairs.
Yeah, there were no stairs, but there were two elevators, and one of them only went up to the second floor balcony. It didn't go anywhere else. So we were kind of lost a couple times.
I should reiterate, there were stairs, but they were fire escape stairs, and we thought the alarm might go off, so we didn't touch it.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that now.
Well, they had a rooftop bar that we really wanted to check out, but of course we went in December, so it wasn't really open.
No, it was closed for this season.
So when we came back from the bar, we were kind of talking, and then I think Megan cried. Because we were playing this game, and then I was like, oh my god, someone's gonna cry during this game.
Oh, yeah, we were playing it. I'm over here like, really? You gotta tell him that?
I'm just like, ooh, this is a weird detail to mention.
We were playing a game about, well, Hannah and Alicia had never met in person, really. So this was kind of a new friendship that was kindled over paranormal investigating. But we had...
The questions were just all too deep.
They were very deep, like, personal questions. And, of course, I'm a crybaby, so I cried. That's all we really need to mention.
I didn't bring it up like, oh, look at Megan, she cried. I was more like, it just made me really sad.
Oh, yeah, because then you started to get very upset.
Yeah, I was like, let's stop playing this game and go hunt some ghosts. Oh no, our room was not on the second floor. We were on the third because the second floor had the, what would you call that? Like the loft area that looked over the balcony into the ballroom. And then they had like a bride's, like a bridal prepare room.
Yeah, I remember that now. So we were on the third floor, and then there was the fourth floor, which had 1,400 numbered rooms for some reason, even though there were only like 10 rooms in the entire hotel.
Okay, I have to alliterate. I didn't mean to make Megan cry.
Oh, God.
I'm just a Cancer moon. I love deep conversations, and sometimes I forget some people aren't like me. Okay, I clarified. We can continue.
Nobody tried to make me cry. We're all good friends. I just cry. All there is to it.
Before we went exploring, though, you can just tell that, like, we're really all bad at telling stories, which makes me happy because we keep jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
It was also, like, months ago, so...
It was literally last year.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was a year ago. Before we had gone exploring... We had, like, for ghost hunting reasons, we had sat in the room and used the dowsing rods, which since the moment I use those, I get really strong answers with them. And we were kind of getting, like a presence there. And so we tried the spirit box, and we weren't really getting too much, but then we had Hannah, or no, was it you in the room, right, Hannah, that you were getting a lot of answers?
I think it was Hannah that was getting a lot of answers in the room that we were staying in. And then while she was getting answers, I remember I was sitting with you on the bed and I had the EMF detector on the other bed and it was randomly spiking when we would ask questions. And there was
Yeah.
nothing around it.
And I remember, I think the ghost that Hannah was talking to was like a sexy ghost because they said shit like sexy maid or she kept saying things that were like, I'll have to finish editing the recording because it was talking really weird shit.
Oh, yeah.
See, and I remember I went to the bathroom at that point, so I did not hear that.
Yeah, the ghost was very, very out there. It was talking about foreplay, and I was like, whoa there.
Whoa there. Whoa there, bud.
Yeah, so we were like, this is a horny ghost. We're going to the balcony. So we took our shit and it was, what was it, like 11, I think?
Yeah, and I want to mention too, before you continue on to like the ghost hunting on the balcony, was that the only way to get up to that balcony was to take an elevator, or there was a set of stairs, but once you got down that set of stairs, you then had to take an elevator. Like, I don't remember that you could just walk. I got lost. Okay, maybe I don't remember because I got lost going back to the room because we had forgotten something once we got to the balcony and I had to walk all the way back and Alicia was like, if you're not back in 4 minutes, I'm calling the cops.
You forgot your phone, so I couldn't even like contact you.
Oh shit. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I should
was
stop talking.
I don't think the building was like weirdly built, but like there was like stairs that led to different floors, but some rooms you could only access through elevators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really strange.
It was really weird. I remember, so we picked the balcony when we first found it because there was 3 chairs sitting in a circle up there, like 3 really vintage purple looking chairs, and we were like, yes, this is where we're gonna come tonight. So we did. Megan forgot her phone and she went to get it and I'm freaking out because I'm like, she's gonna get murdered. And it was super awkward because like Hannah and I didn't really know each other, so we're like already kind of awkward. And then it was really creepy because Hannah and I were sitting there and we kept hearing, it sounded like the doorknob down the hall. Remember that? The doorknob over by the window?
Oh yeah, it was like a weird, I don't know what it was, but it would like do it.
It was like
I don't even know.
almost.
It sounded like the door was trying to open over there. And
That's creepy. I was not there for that.
no, and then when we stopped talking and we were just like looking around and it was so quiet that our ears were ringing, which is so weird in a hotel.
Yeah, it was like dead quiet. Like it was so quiet that your ears had to make some sort of noise.
Yeah, just like the silence was loud. And that's like usually like, I don't know, like a vague description, but it was like really, really loud silence. But then Megan came back and she didn't die.
Yay! I didn't die. I did almost get lost though. I went down the wrong stairs and then I realized I couldn't get where I needed to go. So I had to go back down a different set of stairs and then walk across.
Yeah, which is why I was worried. Because you were like, I think you texted me when you got your phone, but then it took you a really long time. And I was like, I think she went the wrong way.
Yeah, so where we were on the balcony was the 2nd floor. And then I went up the stairs thinking I could get to the 3rd floor, but it ended at a door that was locked and I couldn't get anywhere. So then I had to go all the way back down 2 whole flights of stairs, go through the basement past all the meeting rooms, up an elevator because there were no stairs on that end of the building, up to the 2nd floor, and then I had to get out and go upstairs to our room, and then I had to come back down and do the whole thing over again, and I got lost. It was bad, but I made it.
Once we had everything, I think, who went first? Was it me or Hannah in the balcony? I have the recording. I think it was me that went first.
I think you went first, and we were asking questions, and we weren't really getting any answers.
Yeah, and then I think we handed it off to Megan, and then Megan did it the whole time because I don't remember going under.
Yeah, I think you just did it in the room.
Yeah.
And when we say did it and going under, I think we should preface that we mean we were doing the Estes method where one person wears the headphones while the spirit box is playing full blast in their ears where you can't hear anything else around you. And then you can't see anything because you cover your eyes.
I liked the sexual I liked the sexual illusion
I didn't.
because we were talking about the sexy ghost.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
earlier.
that's true.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember. I wasn't getting anything.
I remember when you were under in the Estes method, we were hearing that noise that you said you were hearing, though, like the doorknob. Because I remember we kept pointing over there, and then you at one point looked over too, like, what?
It was really weird. But we should also preface that the only lights were in that loft, too. We couldn't see. The balcony was so dark. Or, I mean, the ballroom was so dark down there.
Oh, yeah, it was like pitch black almost.
Yeah, like we could see the outline, like we could see things because we had the lights on up there, but like if we had turned those off, pitch black.
Mm-hmm. And we couldn't turn them off, I don't think. Or maybe we just didn't want to. I feel, no, there was a light switch.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think it was motion censored. I think when we walked in, the lights turned on the balcony, but the lights down in the ballroom stayed off.
Yeah, because I remember I was terrified that the lights were going to turn off because we weren't moving.
Yeah. All right, and then when I was under, who remembers that conversation? Because I don't. All I remember is what the spirit box kept saying.
I'm going to post that. Like I'm gonna finish that. I'll probably have it up at the same time this podcast comes out of that audio. I just have to finish editing it.
Yeah, but for some reason, Megan was really receptive to the Estes method, and we were getting the most logical answers from it. That, and then we got a name. And there was this one moment that I had a Polaroid camera, and I was like, oh, let me take a picture of you. Because, like, it was, I would say, somewhat intelligent enough where it was kind of answering questions, but also now we know how to properly do the method. We know what not to do next time.
I feel like it was extremely intelligent at that point because one little piece we can say is how at that point you asked if you could take a picture and it said like go ahead or something similar to that.
It said,
yeah, it kept saying, like, do you see me? Kind of like, how do you not see me? So that's also kind of like a residual, like, kind of, I don't know.
I think that would be intelligent because it was saying, like, you see me? Like, it's questioning.
Well, yeah, because Hannah, when you had the picture and it was developing and we were sitting there, Megan still is under the Estes method and the picture's sitting there developing and we're just sitting there and it said, did it work?
Yeah, and
then it said, did it work? Do you see me?
And I remember I had my eyes closed, so I couldn't see what they were seeing. All I could hear was the spirit box. And then I was just saying whatever words I could pick out from the static noise. So the fact that that was happening at the same time that I heard and spoke out, do you see me? Did it work? I think that's just wild.
It had also, remember it said Hannah asked, can I take another picture? And then she did it. And when the camera flashed, like the second right before, like the millisecond right before it happened, sorry, my cat just jumped on me. The millisecond right before that happened, Megan said flash. And then the flash happened. And then it said, and then she said 1, 2, 3. And I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, I would say the Polaroid camera, that section of like the audio, I think was the most intelligent. Like it was like actually, it was like obviously responding, but it was like, guys, like, do you see me? Like, let me see. It was crazy. I liked it though.
Yeah, I'll finish editing that. I'll work on that like tomorrow night and stuff and see if I can get it finished. And we'll put that out with this podcast because it was.
I do remember that was wild. I still have the recordings on my computer.
I heard Birdie.
That was Onyx.
Oh.
He wants to go to bed.
He wants to be a part of the video.
It was an experience for sure because we'd never done anything like that. I mean, Megan, I think you did before previously, like years ago.
Yeah, and I think it'd be cool to move on to like a bigger, badder, well, not badder, I'm not manifesting that, but just something that is actually haunted and trying to see what we can pick up. I think that would be cool.
I definitely want to do it again.
I got very scared. Not like, it wasn't like, I don't think I was scared. I was very overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, and you were meeting a brand new person, too, at the same time that we were ghost hunting for the first time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So maybe next time it'll be better.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it again. Thank you for listening, and sorry we were gone for so long. We're gonna try our hardest to keep doing this on a timely schedule, but
we're back, baby.
we all work 40-hour-a-week jobs, so
Yeah, we full-time gals.
yeah, we're busy. And I'll be gone for a full week, the first week of May, so we'll have to plan for like the week after that if I'm not dead.
Oh, jeez.
Not like dead, like tired dead.
Okay, I thought you were going to turn into a ghost there for a second.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing to die in Europe, but
We'd have to go find her in Europe, though.
yeah, what a shame. You guys would have to come get me.
We'll have to do the SS method on you.
That's a lot of work, Alicia. You expect a lot of me.
I know. You like have to go on a trip and like take time off of work. You have to go to Europe.
You know, maybe you should get lost in Europe. I'll come find you.
I'll try my hardest not to, and then we'll be able to come up with our next plan for what we want to do.
We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, keep it on.
I was gonna say it, and then I was
Oh my god.
Sorry, I was just like...
You guys should have like a saying or outro that you guys do so you know when to just wrap it up.
Oh, I think it was
That's-
keep it on. That was the ending. That's what we do, is we say keep it on. So that was just me being like, all right, this shit's over.
Yeah, but what do you take it off?
I thought she was gonna say keep it on, and then I was waiting, and then I went to go say it, and she said it, and then I was like, okay.
Yeah, we just say, well, in the meantime, or until the next time, keep it on.
But what would they take off?
What do you mean?
Like, what are you keeping on?
Keep it
Keep
on.
it on!
Oh, God!
Keep it on. Keep on.
I
keep it
kept
on.
hearing keep it on, like O-N, and I'm like, what are you keeping on?